Hey Spuddies, PotatoMcWhiskey here and welcome to Civilization 6. Today we'll be playing as Kublai Khan, and I actually managed to discover an incredibly good starting location for this civ. I was actually playing around with settings, trying out Pangaea and a custom list of city-states and all that sort of stuff with some heroes and legends, monopolies and secret societies. And when I'd loaded into the game, I'd actually found PotatoMcWhiskey, and this was literally the first time I loaded up a game as Kublai Khan. I was like, I'm just going to run a quick 30-40 test game, and I found the god start for this civ. So then I was like, all right, I have to immediately start recording. First things first, we are of course naturally going to move our way closer to PotatoMcWhiskey and just begin exploring. Looks like we found just the edge of a city-state over here. But more importantly, let's just slap our city down right here next to PotatoMcWhiskey. And we're making now 2 food, 1 production, 2 gold, and 2 culture from our capital, and 1 food, 3 production, and 1 culture from this tile. So we're making 4 culture per turn, which is absurd. It's basically we've started with like a super monument, and we actually have even better tiles down the road as well, with like this fishing tile, then this marsh over here. I think my main strategy this game is to essentially rush for horsemen and hope that there is an enemy player nearby that I can take over. And in order to build those horsemen fast enough, I would ideally grab maneuver from military tradition. If I could pick up a pretty good hero early game too, I'd be really happy. But let's get started on a slinger, because we want to be able to boost up the archery technology as well, because archery is pretty much the only requirement for horseback riding. Hey, looks like Taruga found us first. It's a scientific city-state that gives you plus 5% science in all cities for each different improved strategic resource, which is going to be helpful because I do plan to have a lot of strategics this game because I'm going to be building a pretty big army. We found a tribal village and a barbarian encampment. I really want to pick up the vampires this game because I am running secret societies, so it would be super amazing if we could pull that off. I sent my slinger out in the hope that I could get this kill, but a couple of city-states showed up, so I think I'm just going to have to try to clear this and take the era score and hope that we nail the vampires, and we did amazing. I'm going to immediately adopt the vampires. That gives me a fairly powerful early game unit. It's also going to help with my scouting, and I'm working on a builder too because I'd like to get this amber online. Oh hey, Nubia is denouncing me. I have found another barbarian unit. Let's go ahead and see if we can clear down there, and we'll also grab this tribal village. Kaboom, there's Canada, nice to meet you. There's the Void Singers. Canada is over here, which should be within conquering range with some horsemen. I'll just need to get 1 or 2 cities up in between me and Canada, and hopefully find horses as well. We found Zanzibar and Johannesburg too. Johannesburg is nice because I actually found them first, so I'll get some production towards buildings in my capital. And they give you plus 1 production for every improved resource type, which is pretty handy. Zanzibar, on the other hand, gives you cinnamon and cloves, which are going to be super helpful because that's 12 amenities that we can use to cover our negative amenities that we're going to be having from conquering so much this game. Unfortunately though, my slinger was hit by a flood, which did actually fertilize these tiles and make them much more valuable. We killed a unit with an archer, got the boost for archery, and my slinger leveled up, which is going to be helpful for clearing out this barb camp. This thing will probably spawn a bunch of stuff, but the nice thing is I'm also getting kills of my vampire, making him stronger for the inevitable push on Canada. I'm thinking of purchasing a second slinger to use to help clear out this barb camp, and then just put a turn into a monument and then go double settler to try to pick up a little bit of land over here. There's mining picked up, so I can chop out another thing. I think I'd like to chop out this settler slightly quicker, and then I'll improve this amber. It'll only shave 2 turns off of the settler, but that's still pretty good. Let's get working on animal husbandry now, and then archery, and make our way towards horseback riding. Slap down a mine on the amber. That'll boost craftsmanship for us. And I wonder if Canada will buy my amber for a good price. Looks like they'll buy it for 4 gold per turn and 13 gold up front, which is a decent amount of early game cash that I'll be able to use to infuse my economy. I think I'm gonna have to do a full retreat here. There's just a little bit too much noise coming from these guys right now. It's pretty spooky, pretty big barbarian swarm. I will be able to get a ton of kills on my vampire hopefully, but he's also super hurt. So we're in a little bit of a precarious situation. Nubia actually forward settled me and Canada, and their city will be rebelling soon. So that might actually be an opportunity for me to secure a second early city. All right, this is a pretty scary barb swarm. I need archery like yesterday. Trying to think what's the best way I can get a kill on my vampire here. I think it means I have to run away with this warrior, step forward with this slinger, step forward here with this slinger, move the vampire to the city. Then if I double attack this guy, I'll get a kill on my vampire, which means he now has +3 combat strength, and then I can spend a bit of time healing him up. We have military tradition now, so we can build our cavalry faster. And there is one copy of horses up here to the north, and I'll need a governor to be able to hold loyalty in the city that I plan to settle there. So that means I need to get to work on early empire and state workforce and stuff like that. Kerma has flipped independent, which is helpful for me. And this slinger has stepped forward to the point where he's now vulnerable to my attacks. And I think I can safely kill this warrior with my vampire, and his really high combat strength should mean this guy can't get a free kill on me. I'm worried that one of my slingers might die, but that's a sacrifice I might be willing to make for a vampire. I do need to get this settler moving up this way ASAP, and I'm hoping that by parking the settler underneath this slinger, it'll encourage the warrior to attack the slightly healthier slinger. This is Heroes and Legends mode, so it might be a good idea to pick up monuments and see if we can't get some heroes unlocked. I believe city-states tend to be where you get the most unlocks for heroes. I need to get a trader up and trade with Canada. So that I can get my Eureka and my Civic boost. That's Kublai Khan's special ability, is he gets an extra policy card. I forgot to actually talk about that. We have God King and Urban Planning plugged in, which is giving us Pantheon and +1 production in, or not Pantheon, sorry, +1 faith, +1 gold, and +1 production in all cities. And then God King only applies to your capital. But yeah, the second half of his ability is that you get the Eureka and Inspiration when you establish a trade route with another civilization for the first tile. A trading post, but because we're playing Mongolia, we get our trading posts instantly. So a trader is basically a really, really good way to get science and culture in the early game as Mongolia. All right, what does this barb do? Okay, he attacked the vampire, which means I can be a little bit sneaky here. Step forward with this slinger, kill there. Now this guy is up to +6 combat strength from barbarians that have died near him. Ideally, we want to get him up to +10. And I can start sending this settler up to the north now. And he should be fine unescorted. There's no barbs in this area, so I should be fine to just kind of slowly walk him up there. All right, step forward with a builder to scout. Okay, this settler is now safe to step forward. I'm trying to be very, very careful with how I move my units so I don't take unnecessary casualties. It's a very, very precise little mini game I'm playing right now. Trying to level up my vampire, keep him healthy, and prevent any really bad shenanigans from happening. You know, I don't want any of these tiles pillaged, for example. I'm going to hold off on killing this slinger because, again, I want to get the boost on my vampire. Right, let's step the slinger to the top right, and then we'll move the vampire forward to get the kill. Is another free kill. Excellent. He's up to +7 combat strength from barbarians, which is super helpful. We got our monument in the capital. I'm not going to run a heroic tales. I'd like to get a second city now. I think I'm really wanting the trader to send to Winnipeg, but I want to see if this city flips independent first. I should be able to get double archer, so I might wait till I get double archer. You know what? I'm going to get the trader first, because by the time this city flips, my trade route should be fine to make it all the way to Winnipeg without getting hit by any of these free city units, even if I wait like one turn, which means I should be able to free up this city to get a second settler. Right, there is archery unlocked. Now, I don't have enough gold to do this yet, but I'm only a couple of turns away from early empire, which means I feel very secure moving this guy up here. Even with the negative loyalty, I'll plug in a single governor and be totally fine there. Now that we have archery, I think we're going to work our way towards horseback riding. I want to find as much science as possible from as many places as possible. And I also have access to a Pantheon right now. I'm trying to think what would be a good Pantheon for me in this game. I do have a couple of tiles with good appeal over here, for example. So Earth Goddess has potential. I'm going to want to build a lot of mines this game. So maybe Earth Goddess isn't the best because my average appeal is going to be pretty low this game. God of the Forge holds a lot of appeal for me. That would really help snowball my early game. Also, I feel like there should be some Pantheons that interact with heroes. This might be a hot take. I don't know. Just like, it would be pretty cool if there was. Yeah, I think I'm going to take God of the Forge here. And that'll let me just get a little bit of a snowball going earlier. I'll be able to get my horsemen online a little bit sooner. Right, let's settle this city. We're in position to get the horses online. We definitely want to buy those horses. We may not have the time to actually purchase archer upgrades, so we might have to just go now. This city is flipping in 2 turns, So my trader is going to be perfectly safe going to Winnipeg, and that will boost early empire for me. Okay, that's nice. As well as sailing and currency. All right, awesome. So we got a bunch of boosts out of that. I feel like early empire was actually the worst one I could actually get boosted there, but I don't need God King anymore because I already have my Pantheon, which means I can plug in colonization and get my second settler nice and quick. And that also means I should be fine to pick up Magnus now and plop him down in Urumqi, or Urumqi, or whatever it's called, or Urumqi.
Urumqi.
And we'll be able to get that pastor online next turn when we have the gold. Let's work on state workforce and head towards political philosophy. Being able to pick up an early game government will be really nice. My culture game so far is insane. The fact that I have 8 culture per turn is making it so that I'm actually really on par with the AI culturally. My hope is here that this slinger attacks my slinger and not my vampire, because this guy should theoretically have a lower combat strength, which means this guy should be encouraged to attack here, even though the smarter move is to attack my vampire. I'm hoping to, like, you know, outmaneuver the AI barbarians logic. Right, there is horses online. Now we have horseback riding, so we're already generating horse resources, and we might even go for the Black Marketeer promotion on Magnus to get the strategic resource discount for units. It depends really just on how many horses we get. Once we have horsemen, we'll probably go for encampments to get great generals, and then push really hard to pick up stirrups and things like castles. And the nice thing is, we have so much culture right now. Getting feudalism really early to boost stirrups may actually be a distinct possibility if we play our cards right. Canada wants open borders and is offering me a bit of cash. I'm going to take that deal. It's a relationship boost and a little bit of money. So, you know, basically just a free trade deal, really. Barbarian's up to +9 combat strength. Or sorry, not my barbarian, my vampire is up to +9 now. And the strength from barbarian deaths is capped at +10. So I just need to kill one more barbarian near this vampire and he'll be maxed out on strength. And I think, I can't remember what their base combat strength. Yeah, the strongest unit your cities have produced. So once I produce a horseman, this guy's going to jump up to like 36 base combat. He has +10 from barbarians. And he could easily be hitting like the 50 to 60 combat strengths in the classical era if I can get enough kills on Canada. I bought another pasture tile because I want to place this sheep down. This will give my city 2 really incredible tiles, and it'll actually be a really strong production center for me. Even better than my capital, honestly. My capital is really good at +8 right now, but my second city's now at +5 production on a single population, and so it should be easily able to outstrip my capital. And once it has this builder as well, I'll be able to continue to develop this city. I am having a little bit of a loyalty problem in here, but that's mainly down to amenities. If I can get one amenity online or get my amenity back from Canada, and I can't remember when I actually traded that to them, but I should get it back pretty soon. Right, let's get the kill on this guy, and we'll finally clear out this barb camp. We'll pick up a bit of gold and another tribal village. There's actually 2 tribal villages here that I can pick up. I never knew they could be placed so close together. I always thought there was like a minimum distance, but my vampire is now up to the maximum +10 combat strength from barbs, which is incredible. Let's shoot the spearman and then attack the spearman, grab the tribal village. That's extra faith. Faith, not really ideal right now. I already have my Pantheon, and I don't really need faith for much until the mid game when I might start faith purchasing units. We'll get some damage on that slinger, and I think I can clear this safely, but I would be worried about the counterattack from that guy. He might just counterattack there. Perfect, +3 era score, and we kill the barb camp, and our settler finished this turn. We're 10 turns away from getting horsemen, so I need to think about what I'm going to do for those 10 turns. And I think getting a hero is actually the ideal play here. If I get a hero with horsemen on a push, I think I'm in a really strong position to attack Canada. I want to get my government plaza, and I think Urumqi is going to be the place to get it. I want the extra governor titles to be able to mass produce cavalry using Magnus. The problem is I just have really bad tiles to place it on. So, because it's all like floodplains or tiles I want to improve, which is a bit of a problem for me, I might just wait until the builder comes out and then chop the government plaza for a turn to get it nice and quick. Because I really want Warlord's Throne if I can get it. And I'm not too far off picking up political philosophy. Clear this. Here, another faith one. Again, not ideal by any stretch of the imagination. But I mean, the faith isn't terrible. Like, I could use it for something, maybe get a great general a few turns sooner. Right, let's settle another city. Those are my 3 early game cities. Kaboom, kaboom, kaboom. We get a little bit of, there's a volcano here too, so we got a bit of era score out of that. I only need like 3 more era score to get a golden age, which would be incredible. But I only have 4 turns to do it, so I'd pretty much have to get a hero somehow and then recruit him, which just isn't going to happen. Recruit a great prophet, recruit a great rider, train a heavy chariot. Maybe I could have pulled off some of those, but yeah. I think now we just kind of bide our time and prepare for the next phase. Karakoto. So if my capital is going to be, I don't know what is going to be where I get my hero. This is going to be where I get my government plaza. Then Karakoto is probably going to be where I build like support units and builders and stuff like that to support my army. So I'll quickly grab a builder in here. Now, do I promote Magnus here to go for provision and black marketeer? Or do I maybe go for more of a loyalty direction and go lighter on my horses? I think the right play is to go for provision into black marketeer, because if I can get enough horses out early into the game, I can actually just steamroll them. Canada's already running away with science, which is really, really scary. He's even building Machu Picchu right now. That's really bad, actually, because it means he's very, very close to picking up crossbowmen. So I pretty much have to declare war on Canada as soon as possible. If you want to know a little trick, like ideally what I would like to do in it right now is harvest this forest to immediately build the government plaza on this tile. What you can do is just build something random for a turn. And then when the turn rolls over, I'll be able to come in here into the city, cancel the monument, do the chop for 54 production, and then place the government plaza. All right, so the government plaza right now would cost me 54 production. So if I do the chop when the city is building nothing, that puts that production into the buffer, and then I can place the government plaza and build it in a single turn. So that's like a cute little chop trick that you guys should be aware of. And since I finished my government plaza, I can now plug in Black Marketeer into Magnus. So I can actually produce up to 13, is it 13 cavalry? Or maybe like 6, 7 cavalry right now with the amount of horses I have. So off a single horse resource, I can build an absurd amount of horses. And I'll be able to unlock those in 4 turns. Trying to think what I could do in here with 4 turns. And maybe a scout is the right move. Just quickly grab a scout and then I'll chop out a horse or 2 with these forests, and then immediately get to work on the Warlord's Throne. And I think I'd be able to push Canada with 2 horses. So maybe right now what I do is I don't have another luxury to offer him, which kind of sucks. But I think I denounce him now. That will give time for the grievances I have with him to bleed away. They'll take 3 turns to bleed away. I'll be able to declare war in 5 turns. And so yeah, I think that was like the right move. And I'll definitely have a pair of archers for this war as well. So it's all looking pretty good right now for me. We're into the classical era, so we get a little bit of era score for that. We also discovered Mulan. I wonder who owns Mulan. Looks like nobody has claimed Mulan, and that was actually my heroic tail triggering. Mulan is a pretty good hero for what we're trying to do here, and it's kind of funny that we're playing Mongolia and we're going to use Mulan to invade Canada. I don't know, that just like is really, really funny. Also, I don't know about you guys, but Mulan was one of my favorite movies growing up. And I would just sing that, you know, Be a Man song all the time. Swift as a coursing river, the heart of a great typhoon, etc. Putting Mulan aside and talking about our dedications, I feel like there's a few okay options here. And I think going for free inquiry is the right move because it's very easy to get science boosts. And this will give me +1 era score for every time I boost a science thing. There's a ton of stuff in here that I could still boost. I could farm a resource, I could improve 2C resource, I could build an iron mine. And I will actually get to work on bronze working now because I would like to get a couple of encampments to get stuff like that. You know, specialty districts, mines. There's a lot of ways to get Eurekas, so it's just a really good way to pick up extra era score. Now, she wants to buy my horses. I'm not going to sell my horses because if I can prevent the AI from picking up strategic resources, I think I'll be in a much better position to actually attack them because they'll have to rely on things like you know, archers and crossbowmen. I'm actually struggling a little bit with which government I go for. I kind of like the idea of going for autocracy for this +1 to all yields in the government plaza and the palace and the diplomatic quarter. This has a lot of appeal to me. I'm not earning any great people points, so this does nothing for me. The +1 housing and amenity is okay, but that's more for like a tall growing thing. And I don't really plan to use melee units in this war. With the exception of my vampire. The 20% unit experience is nice, but I think I go for autocracy here. The fact that I get 2 military boosting cards is nice, because it means I can plug in maneuver and discipline. So I'm pretty safe from military stuff. I could plug out colonization, for example, and still have plenty of room to plug in like strategos for great general points, and even caravansaries for a little bit of extra gold. In fact, I should probably be able to purchase a horse fairly soon, which is really nice. I'm going to switch over to horse production in my second city, and then I'm going to chop that horse out, and that'll give me +2 era score. If I'd been able to do that a couple of turns sooner, it would have been great. And I'll do a little bit of scouting on Canada. My vampire is healing up, and I want to look for things that I could maybe pillage on the opening of the war to get my vampire healed up to full, because vampires heal from pillaging. Here it is. Heals an additional 50 health from pillaging enemy tiles, but reduces its passive healing. So I'm going to position my vampire like somewhere here so I can maybe nail one of these farms early in the war. I don't think I'm going to make much use out of the Grove or the Preserve this game, but I would like to pick up, I think, Defensive Tactics for the extra governor title. I am going to need extra governors to be able to place down loyalty sticks in these cities. Right, I have a better idea of what the terrain like is over here, and I think there's a pretty bad choke point we're going to have to push our way through in Winnipeg. I also picked up Mulan, which is really cool. She is going to get slowly more powerful as time goes on. She gains +1 combat strength every turn, which is incredible. Let's get both of these archers upgraded. They're going to form a pretty important part of my army. And since I get boosts from producing another archer, I'm tempted to get my third archer. Although I could also just produce another horseman and then chop out another horseman next turn in Urumqi or whatever, which would be pretty neat, I feel like. And then immediately just get to work on the Warlord's Throne. Move the builder from Karakoto over here to get extra production in here. And then once I have Warlord's Throne, I'll be able to pump out insane production from these cities with a 20% boost after you conquer something. Because I should be able to run over these cities pretty easily. It's super early. As long as he doesn't like pop a crossbowman out of the fog of war, I should be fine. There's bronze working, so we have found iron. The question is, do we have iron in our territory? And it looks like it's mostly no. None of my current tiles have it. There is one copy over here that I'll almost certainly settle for. Having iron is just, it's helpful to have them. Right, let's buy the tile in Urumqi, and we will immediately chop out a horseman, and then we'll use the overflow to go into the Warlord's Throne. Pretty much everyone is in position for the war, with the exception of my cavalry, who I'd like to be a little bit closer to Kerma. I think I'll grab Kerma first. Tech-wise, we're gonna need to pick up a bit of science this game to stay competitive, so maybe a campus or two would be really, really helpful. We're also playing with the monopolies mode, so getting industries up could be really helpful. And this all feeds towards the Keshig as well. It's only 5 techs away to the Keshig, and I believe that this will eventually upgrade into the field cannon. So yeah, I think that's the direction I'm going to head. We'll head towards currency. Plus, we'll need currency to build our commercial hubs for gold, because we'll need gold to support our army. Our army is going to start getting more expensive as time goes on. All right, let's check suzerainties here. Canada isn't suzerain of any of these city-states, so I feel pretty safe now. Actually declaring the war. We'll get the formal war going, like so. And this is pretty good for me, because I can actually get some kills near my vampire to get him another combat strength, and then I can immediately pillage next turn. And I've got Mulan in position too, so this is all working out really nicely for me. My vampire is under a little bit of threat, but he should be able to fully heal by pillaging next turn. All right, let's pillage here. I'm going to step this horseman to the right, and then step you forward. Can you get this kill? Yes. So my vampire is now up to 56 combat strength, which is massive. And Mulan is able to step up as well and get him another kill. So now he's up to 57 or so combat strength. Depends. Right now it says 55 because he's not fighting anything. I'm also going to pillage this campus because I want that science. The immediate science is usually more valuable in my opinion. I'm tempted to send this trade route to Johannesburg, but I'm also tempted to hold it. If I were to hold this trade route, I could immediately, right after killing Canada, trade with Nubia and get a pretty big advantage in that war. But on the other hand, if I trade with Johannesburg or Zanzibar or something like that, I could end up with some pretty good gold yields. I think I'm going to trade with Zanzibar because I think that's the one that's most likely to have Canada to get suzerainty of, and for it to declare war on me, which means it would reset my trade route, which is kind of something I want right now. Now, we can grind through Canada's cities pretty easily here, but it's also really important that we grind through his army. So let's make sure that we're killing as many of these units as possible. And we'll bring our horsemen now down to the south to clear out Kerma. Step the vampire back a turn. We will use Mulan and an archer to clear this. Perfect. The vampire has even more combat strength. Kerma is going to fall in just a couple of turns. And we have our third horseman now coming from the capital. And I don't know, do I continue to produce horsemen or do I go for something like an encampment? I think I need to continue to produce military units. But I also need to produce things like settlers. Although how badly do I need this iron? The extra science would be incredibly useful. But I also really want an encampment. I also want builders. Man, it's tough. It's tough. If I could get the encampment, it would pretty much guarantee me a really early great general. I mean, I'm on track to get this great general, and I have enough faith that I could maybe snatch him a few turns earlier too. So maybe going for the encampment isn't the be-all, end-all, and maybe getting a builder to get the second copy of horses online is a good way to spend 7 turns. Both of my horsemen are really close to leveling up, so we'll just take out Kerma. Kaboom, Kerma belongs to me. I could liberate this and then trade with it to get a trading post for boosts, but I'm actually just going to keep it. It's not a terrible city, it's in an okay location. Has decent tiles, good food, good production. I'll grab a scout in here because I want to know more about what's going on in the west. I have one scout up here to the north, but it hasn't really found much. Ah man, my vampire can absolutely demolish this city. Look at that damage, dude. Nubia is also denouncing me because I've inflicted grievances on Canada. Doesn't matter. You don't have to have a positive opinion with me for me to be able to send a trade route to you. Right, let's kill this. There's 49 science that boosts me up through currency. We'll get a kill with Mulan. We'll step forward, get a bit of experience on our archers. And then I think we kill the city of Winnipeg. Completely take it over. It does have a little bit of a loyalty problem. But I feel like Magnus can be reassigned now as a loyalty stick. Breaking through here shouldn't be too bad. We've already taken out nearly half of Canada's army and 2 of their cities. The hard thing is if he gets walls in here. It'll be hard to break even with a vampire of this strength. Let's go ahead and get that campus repaired, however. I know it seems a little bit silly to have pillaged that for 49 science, but it only has an adjacency of 1. So this campus really would have only given me 7 science, right? But that's halved as well because the city is disloyal and losing loyalty. So pillaging here was absolutely the right move for long-term and short-term value. I like the idea of going Caparison into Depredation here this game. Double Envelopment and Pursuit are super helpful, but I feel like if I'm able to get extra pillages off, I'll be able to stay ahead of the curve because I'm actually not super far behind anyone except for Canada, who just has insane science, and I might be able to sneak in here and pillage another campus. And it also has a library too. We have currency now, which is nice, and he did actually get walls in his capitals, which makes my life a little bit harder. But I should still be mostly fine. Right, we'll kill that guy. And I don't need to get all the kills on my vampire because he's strong enough now to carry me to pretty far into the game. So I can kind of play a little bit looser with my units and not worry about getting every single possible boost. Karakoto is probably a good candidate for a campus city because there is a +4 campus right here. I have to spend 74 gold for it, or 75 gold for it, but a 23 turn campus that gives me +4 is really, really good. It's going to help me stay ahead of the curve, and I don't need this city for military production. I'm also going to harvest in here on the truffles to get that campus even faster. Even if it means I lose 1 production in the city, I think that's overall worth it because I end up getting the campus faster. Pillage the library for 54 science. There's the boost for the wheel. And we would like to head towards stirrups now. I need to get at least 2 more mines online, I think. I think I only have 1 mine right now. So if I could get another couple of mines, I'd be able to get apprenticeship really fast and start working on stirrups. All right, Quebec doesn't have walls, which bodes really well for me. I'll kind of skirt around Ottawa. And I don't know if I bother trying to retake Winnipeg until I have Quebec back. So I may just push through here and leave the city for dead. I'll just leave like a token archer behind to hold loyalty in here so the city doesn't fall super fast. But once I have Quebec and Ottawa and any other cities that are hiding in the fog over here, I should be fine. Looks like, what is this? A trading dome. Oh, we might be able to pillage some of this stuff for gold, which is going to be super helpful. All right, looks like a city-state declared war on me. Which one was it? I heard the noise. And Taruga's at war with me right now. That doesn't change my plans much, because I can just kind of ignore them for the most part. Also, I can steal their builders too. Yeah, I can mostly ignore Taruga. I can farm a little bit of experience off them and stuff. The only city that's really under threat is Kerma right now. I totally forgot I had a warrior hiding down here from way earlier in the game, by the way. That would have been helpful. Let's get a second pillage on this campus for another 54 science. That gets us way closer to apprenticeship. And there's even more campuses for us to pillage over here, which I'm super happy about. We're basically turning Canada's obsession with science against them. Let's pillage here for the gold. I want to pillage that as well. There's quite a lot of stuff I want to get pillaging on. What are you building here? You're building the Great Library. That's not going to happen. I'm sorry, buddy. Let's start damaging the city. I'm a little bit scared about the fact that they're actually building walls in here. You can see the walls graphic right now. So they're going to get those walls up pretty soon. My question is, do I kill Quebec sooner or do I go for more pillages? Because I could pillage this mine and this campus twice. And I think I go for the pillages here rather than the fast kill. That extra science is going to be massive in helping me push onwards. The only worry is if he gets a crossbowman like that, things get a little bit scarier for me. I do have Mulan and a vampire who can help take care of crossbowmen. The spearman isn't so scary for me. I think I definitely want to go more of a pillagey route. So I think so far things are looking okay for me. You know, I've got this mostly under control. Pop down another mine in Urumqi. I want to get at least one more mine, and I have a builder in position for getting that mine next turn. That'll boost apprenticeship, which will give my mines even more production. But more importantly, it's a step closer to getting the Keshig. Winnipeg flipped independent, which means it's no longer a super good place to have Magnus. So I'll assign him maybe back over to Urumqi, and I can start mass producing cavalry here soon. I should really place a district in my capital somewhere, and it may actually be a commercial hub. I might buy like a tile and just throw it down. I know it seems like a reasonable thing to do, to just have a commercial hub in place to be able to build up my economy on the back of this war. Otherwise, though, I'm just mass producing horsemen to try to keep the war going. Let's pillage this for faith. Could I now get the great general? No, I need a little bit more faith, so we'll be waiting a little bit of time before we get this guy. And the good news is Mulan is going to get rid of that crossbowman, and I'm going to be able to get another 2 pillages off here. 1 for science, 1 for gold. I don't think there's anything else I really care to pillage except unless I need health. I could delay conquering this city another turn, but both of my horsemen can level up from attacking this city this turn, so I don't need to do that at all. Right, +1 era score from apprenticeship, perfect. I think they had a mine in the city. It might actually be counting this mine right here. I don't think putting a governor in this city is going to help the loyalty too much. I think I just need to like wipe out this whole area before I'm going to be in a good position. But let's try to keep the city anyway. 17. It would double the amount of turns, so maybe I actually just reassign Magnus to Quebec and try to take the 5 turns here. I have a scout fortified on this hill between me and Taruga, trying to bait his units into fighting me in disadvantaged terrain. You know, he's fortified on a hill across a river, so a scout can beat a warrior in this circumstance, at least on the defense. Campus in here is pretty terrible, but inheriting a ton of science districts from your first war is actually a pretty good deal. I think Ottawa is going to be an easy kill. Well, not like super easy, because he does have crossbowman tech, which means it hits really hard. But I do have like a super powered vampire and Mulan, who should be able to rip down the city's walls slowly over time. And I might be able to get a pretty good surround to prevent the city from healing too. Unless he has like Victor in there, in which case it's going to be tough. And the great thing about pillaging is because I stole a builder, I could just immediately get all these tiles back online, with the exception of the campus, of course. Step forward with the vampire. I can't shoot over the city there. Bring the horsemen forward. You'll park in the city. You'll come forward as well. I'll promote you with caparison. I'll promote you after you get shot. Ideally, you would be the one who takes the shot next turn. Right, let's step Mulan forward to shoot the city. We'll kill this spearman. You'll take a level up like so. Yeah, I think I need to do a bit of swapping and changing. But even with my massive vampire like strength here, breaking into this city is going to be tough without Mulan breaking down the walls. But every time you do damage to a city like this, the combat strength of the city comes down, because the garrison health is pretty important, or the fortification health is pretty important to how long the city can hold out. Let's get the marble online for another luxury, and then I want to get that second copy of horses up too. Hey, we found Mato Tapila with my breakout scout, who's currently being chased by Canada Scout. He has so many more cities to the north here. Man, we really need to kill Ottawa fast. All right, the good news is Mulan absolutely smashes the city walls, and we have a healing pillage over here for our vampire. Can I get another turn on this city? No, occupying this city doesn't give me another turn on it, so we'll just move our cavalry around. There's not really a safe attack here, so I'm just kind of holding on We'll start the reconquest of Winnipeg now with this 2 archers and this Mongolian warrior, and then this horseman who's also on the way. We'll be able to retake Winnipeg before it flips back to Canada. Yep, Vampire is taking some pretty heavy hits. It's because pretty sure he knows that he's spooky. Okay, I don't know how my builder is still alive inside the city. A bit confused about that. Looks like the free cities actually managed to heal the campus here, which works out in my favor because I'll be able to pillage it again now for even more science. So, you know, free cities, they're working out in my favor. I'm scared about this crossbowman. He pretty much has to die. So I'll have to smash in here, and I may lose a unit due to that. But that's okay, because I got the pillage in here. And the city is slowly coming apart. A little bit of a momentum problem, which tends to happen to me when I play greedy like this. Oh, that city shot's going to be brutal. Oh, I didn't know that city had walls. All right, we have to pillage for health here to try to stay alive. I don't think we need to kill that crossbowman immediately. I would rather get the damage on the walls of the city. And I think we can just play it safe here. We'll pillage for science, which means we're 5 turns closer to stirrups. We've got 4 turns to take back Winnipeg. It should be doable, plus we're picking up a bit of experience on these guys. We have Warlord's Throne now, which means we get that 20% bonus whenever we capture a city. We get a 20% production bonus in our entire empire for 5 turns, which is, you know, pretty respectable. In Urumqi, I don't know what I want to do with this city. I have a ton of unimproved tiles. I could use a builder. It would be nice to get the encampment for the great general production. It would also help to have the Or2 when I start mass producing this thing, the Ordu, which would give +1 movement to my heavy and light cavalry units trained in this city, as well as a 25% experience boost. So I might go ahead and get to work on that in here. Yeah, I think that's the right move. We'll work on the encampment. It'll take 8 turns. I might sink 3 turns into a monument, get the encampment, get the Ordu, and then this city will be ready to produce Keshigs. Maybe if I can get a builder over here to get a couple of more tiles improved. Right, defensive tactics is researched. That should give me access to another governor, which means I don't need to use Magnus as a loyalty stick anymore, and I can have him in position for chopping and for cavalry production. Winnipeg should be a fairly easy kill here. Ideally, I want to get some experience on my warrior, as well as I want to get the kill with my cavalry, or my horsemen, because I believe, yeah, you get +10 experience for capturing a city on a unit, which is super helpful. And then I can go ahead and appoint Victor and use him as a loyalty stick in Winnipeg, which gives me 6 turns to capture Ottawa before I'm starting to have real bad problems. Now, what do I do with this cavalry? I think I try to like escape somewhere safe where he's not going to take city shots anymore. I need to kill this crossbowman, because he's becoming a problem, and then we can start to smash the city. And Mulan is starting to end her lifespan. She's only got 10 turns left, and I need to start thinking about resummoning her. Tech-wise, we have defensive tactics, and we would like feudalism. If I could get the 6 farms built, that would be actually a huge deal. If I could get the 6 farms built, that would boost feudalism, which would boost stirrups, and I have really good culture per turn. So I think that's actually doable if I were to get, like, for example, a builder in my capital, and maybe focus heavily on farm production. I already have 2 of the 6 that I need in my capital, and then there's 2 over here in Winnipeg. And if I can maybe recapture Quebec, or even just get a couple of farms up, man, recapturing Quebec would actually give me the boost. I only need to build like 1 farm or something, and then I get it. So this should be pretty easy to do this boost chain right here and have super early Keshigs. I don't know how this builder is trapped in this city. This is just like a really weird bug that I've never encountered before. All right, we're going to break Ottawa again. Kaboom. City strength comes down, which means it's easier to do even more damage. Do I want to actually attack on my horseman? I don't want to actually attack on my horseman. I'm going to hold off. Another crossbowman popped out of this city, which is really bad for me. But at the very least, I can get a kill on this scout here, and then be in position. Man, do I keep hitting the city? The crossbowman thing is really painful for me right now. I do have more cavalry moving in to take over this position, but yeah, it's just a bit of a struggle at the moment. My worry is here, if I attack the city and then get double shot, my vampire is in a bad spot. So I might just take the kill here, take a very, very small amount of damage, and then do slightly more damage to the city in future. This city is just like a break point for me. If I can break Ottawa, the whole game opens up for me. But right now, this is just the linchpin of my entire game. Like, I made an incredibly risky opening move where you go super hardcore into military. Let's get rid of that crossbowman. We'll move forward into Ottawa. I have a couple of problems with archers spawning behind me from the Free City. I've got 3 turns on Mongolia. I need to break Ottawa in 3 turns. I can't have, or on Winnipeg rather. I can't have Winnipeg for independent again. Karakoto did finish its campus, so it's producing a ton of science for me right now. I feel like the big thing is getting outbuilders right now. Although I could go for the library to continue to push my science up. And that's going to pay dividends the entire game. Especially since it looks like there's a ton of players out there earning great scientist points. I need to get in on that ship really early. Right, shoot Ottawa. I think now is where I start to consider burning horseman health for city strength losses. I think that's a good move, although I think I'll let you tank another crossbow shot. I need to get rid of this archer, so I'll do this. And then you'll promote and you'll be able to run around and pillage a bit for health and stuff. We have a builder in Kerma. We can chop really well next turn. I need to think about what my chop is here. I feel like this could be an industrial zone city. It would hit pretty much my entire empire once I got factories online. So I'm thinking of plopping an industrial zone right there on that marsh. The walls in Ottawa are almost gone now. I need to get them down. They just need to be gone. So I'm going to throw all my units in and let them kill another one. And then we'll get some health up on these cavalry to take up the front line. I'm kind of sad that the city's flipping independent again. I was really hoping I could hold it. All right, the pike and shot, or rather the pikeman has appeared in Ottawa now, which is going to make my life really hard. So that really sucks, man. That pikeman timing is incredible. I need this great general, but it's not worth 150 faith to get him right now. It just really isn't. Gonna see if I can get a couple of heavy chariots to be able to upgrade it into knights. Oh, I don't actually have the iron to do that. Never mind. Yeah, I just have to go straight horseman and Keshig this game. I never went and picked up this iron. Drop another farm, and we'll drop another farm. So we should be able to get feudalism back the second we flip Winnipeg again. Man, this city has just been absolutely brutal to take. I had like an incredible opener. And the city has just been a brick wall to try to break through. I got crossbowmen reinforcing from the north as well. Ugh. It'll fall in the next couple turns, though. I'm not worried about that. Right, let's recruit our great general, and we'll get him moving up to the front line. I don't really have anywhere to teleport him. Right, let's shoot Ottawa again. Kaboom. We'll hit here. We'll move our horsemen forward. Can we take it this turn? All right. Oh, man. What do you mean I failed? What? That is some BS right there. I tell you what, Canada has been incredibly lucky so far this game. I am super mad. I am turbo mad, in fact. Super mad. Can we stop spawning units in here, Canada? Oh my sweet Jesus Christ. Another unit appear. Right, let's get rid of this. We're struggling here, boys. It's not great. Now because of all these cities not being mine, Ottawa has a loyalty problem, and I don't have the units reinforcing yet. I have to buy a horseman. I just have to. I'll buy it in Ottawa next turn, I think. I don't think I can safely kill this, can I? All right, let's keep this city. We've got 14 turns in here before it flips on us. Could maybe do a chop. I like that plan. 11 turns till stirrup, 6 turns till feudalism. So realistically, if I just get feudalism, I get both of these. So I can switch away from stirrups and instead work on some earlier tech like masonry. Hey, I got my second copy of Marble online, and now I can get a industry here. Right, we'll harvest in Ottawa. I need to get the vampire out of the city so that I can actually purchase a unit in here. But the problem is if I step the vampire out of the city, he gets absolutely demolished by these crossbows. So I'll have to try and get a kill over here next turn. We'll see. Right, we got our encampment in Urumqi. Let's get to work on the Ordu. I'll need another builder over here. And once we have the Ordu, we'll be able to mass produce extremely fast Keshigs. Right, let's kill the crossbowman. Boom, he's dead. Just pray the volcano doesn't erupt. We'll purchase the archer in here, and that might help. All right, I need Winnipeg now. I've got 3 turns to take it back. I can pillage and then attack. Boom, Winnipeg is mine. All right, we're in great shape now. We have feudalism. Perfect. And that boosted up stirrups, so we can start to produce Keshigs now. And Keshigs are going to be huge for us. They only cost 10 horses to produce, but they are going to be super useful. Keshig is a Mongolian era ranged support cavalry. It has 2 range and it does 40 strength damage, and it also has 4 movement. It'll have 5 movement with my bonuses, which is incredible. Yeah, I definitely feel like this version of Mongolia is a little bit more scientifically and culturally oriented than the other versions of Mongolia. It's not bad per se, it's just not, I don't think it's as good. It's better if you get a worse starting location, because you can kind of slowly build up your way into a late game. But yeah, that's going to be it for the first episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I love you all very much, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.